I actually got a couple stories that we're going to talk about from Vegas, but this is going to be one of them. And no, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think that these people are related. They look like they could be related, though. You would hope that they're not, but crazier things have happened. But nonetheless, Vegas continues to keep giving us stories that we just don't want to happen to any human being. But nonetheless, before we get into the details, even though that house looks nice, it was a house of horrors. Let me give you guys a disclaimer before we get into my content. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. Now, we are getting this article from 8newsnow.com, so thank you for the article. I just got to make sure that we're still rolling here, and I think we are. Wow. That guy on the right-hand side of the screen literally looks like he's like one of those people who puts on those costumes for a living. I don't know if y'all remember Showbiz Pizza and the big bear that wore that costume. Like, he looks like the guy off of Showbiz Pizza. Of course, that was around like when Chuck E. Cheese, Showbiz Pizza were competing. I'm sorry, I might have just told my age. I'm sorry. Maybe y'all not as old as me to remember that. But nonetheless, 2 Henderson parents were arrested Tuesday after an 11-year-old child diagnosed with autism. The puzzle piece represents autism. Me and my people, my club, my associations have donated our time and services and money to autism awareness, and we encourage you guys to do so also. Nonetheless, so I have a special place in my heart for autism. Diagnosed with autism was found in a makeshift jail cell. You heard that right, locked up. A makeshift jail cell after being absent from school, according to police documents obtained by 8 News Now. On April the 23rd, around 10:15 a.m., officers with the City of Henderson Police Department and the Clark County School District Police Department did a welfare check in the 2000 block of Silverton Drive near Wigwam and North Green Valley Parkways. The welfare check was requested due to a truancy or absence from school involving a student. The truancy officer told police that when they knocked on the door, no one answered, but they could hear a child screaming and a gate rattling inside. And I know that's got to be horrifying. So they heard somebody on the inside, but nobody was able to answer the door, right? So I'm going to assume that they knew that this child had autism. They were looking for this child and was like, is that the child? So that's got to be crazy. When police arrived, it was approximately 40 minutes before the door was answered by Jeffrey Scanlan, 41 years old, on the right-hand side of the screen. That man does not look like he's 1 year older than me. Let me see if I get a different picture. I don't know if look at that. Would y'all think that me and this man are the same age? Like, he looks like he's a lot older than I am. A lot older. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Took on the $30 challenge. If you're listening, thank you very much, Miss Vic Bay. Much love. Thank you. That man does not look like he is 41 years old. If I had to take a guess, I would have said 60, maybe. Not 41. He's like my age. He told police his children had been absent from school because they were sick. That's a red flag. It's a big red flag. When police asked Jeffrey if they could check on the children, he agreed to let them inside, where police found an 11-year-old boy in a large metal enclosure. It's probably a dog cage, to be honest with you. A large metal enclosure with metal bars and locked doors. similar to a jail cell, according to the report. Now, I'm just assuming it's a dog cage. I don't know that, though. The boy was wearing only a diaper, and the enclosure had feces on the floor and walls. Jeffrey told police that the child was diagnosed with severe autism spectrum disorder. 3 other children in the home were there when the police arrived. While police were at the home, Jeffrey's wife, by the name of Misty Scanlan, who's 46 years old, and she definitely looks older than 46, to be honest, got home from work. So I'm pretty sure that she also agreed with this behavior. Yeah, I absolutely think it was a dog pen, but I don't know that for a fact. Officers said that the house was in extreme disarray and smelled of feces, and I'm pretty sure this is why. While searching the home, police found 2 bedrooms with little or no furniture, with feces on the walls, ceilings, and floors. Both bedrooms had exterior locks with no way to open them from the inside. That sounds like a prison. That means that house that you guys just saw on my screen seems like it would be a normal house from the outside, but you go inside and it's anything but that. A house of horrors. One bedroom had a single mattress on the floor, while the other bedroom had no furniture at all. And keep in mind, they got kids. Where were they sleeping at? Jeffrey told police that the child in the enclosure was big and strong and could be very aggressive, destroying the house, punching holes in the walls, and attempting to escape to neighbors' houses. These people should have never have had kids at all. I agree. Thank you for saying that. Jeffrey, this fool, added that the child goes to school and does well there, but struggles often at home. He said that the child prefers the enclosure to his bedroom and will sleep in it on the couch. He explained to police that the enclosure has 2 doors, one which is locked all the time, and the other which is tied shut with a string because the child has not figured out the knots yet and can't open the door. And you're telling me he wants to be in there by choice? Really? No, not at all. When asked if the child would be able to exit in an emergency, Jeffrey said someone would have to let him out. Go figure. One of the children told police they believed the enclosure had been in the home for approximately 2 years. Jeffrey later told police that it was actually there for 6. 2 children and Misty told police that they tried to clean both the enclosure and the bedrooms once a week, but it had been several weeks since they last cleaned it. These people are freaking disgusting. Jeffrey and Misty said one of their other children, who was also diagnosed with autism, was an escape artist, as they like to put it, quote unquote, an escape artist. So that means that they would lock these children up and they figure out ways to get out. Probably starving them. Yes, maybe. So they would lock her in her room when it was time to sleep and duct tape the top of her shirt over her diaper so she could not grab feces from it when it had not been changed. Lord have mercy. Both Jeffrey and Misty told police they received referrals from the children's school, but had not pursued any for any of the children in the home because they did not know where to start or want strangers in their house, according to the report. Police took both Jeffrey and Misty into custody and booked them into the Henderson Detention Center for child neglect and abuse. The 11-year-old boy was taken to a local hospital, and Child Protective Services took the other 3 children into their custody. Now, according to court records, the 2 posted bail on Wednesday morning. The next court appearance is scheduled for May the 14th, which is 11 days from today, depending on when you're watching this video. So May 14th. Anybody with information in this case is urged to call Henderson Police Department The number is 702-267-4911 or 311. Or to remain anonymous, you can call Crime Stoppers at 702-385-5555 or the Crime Stoppers website. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Only got a couple of news videos. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I honestly could not believe that man was dumb enough to say that they're escape artists. Like, I don't even think he understands what they're doing is wrong. Like, they both seem to be like a bottle of molasses if you left it in some snow. Just not the brightest crayons in the box. But nonetheless, y'all do me a favor. If y'all can, please hit that thumbs up and share this video because I want more people to see this and know what actually happened to these children. Share their stories because this shouldn't happen to anybody regardless of whether they have autism or not. This is just flat out wrong.
Two parents arrested in Henderson facing child abuse charges after an 11-year-old was found by police inside their home in a large metal enclosure.
And that home was also found to have inhospitable living conditions. Fox 5's Mike Allen joins us now with more.
Yeah, John Kim, 46-year-old Misty Scanlon and 41-year-old Jeffrey Scanlon, who we see here, were taken into custody and booked into the Henderson Detention Center for 1 count each of child abuse and neglect. School police initially responded to the home on Silverton Drive near Wigwam and Valley Verde for a truancy issue involving a student. Now, I walked through that neighborhood this evening, talking with neighbors. One said he had heard banging coming from the home on several occasions in the past, but he and everyone else I talked with said the family was generally quiet and usually kept to themselves. They were shocked to hear about the arrests.
It's gut-wrenching, for sure. There's nothing worse than thinking, gosh, they're so innocent, and yet it affects them for the rest of their life, and that's sad.
The 11-year-old was found by a Clark County School District attendance officer conducting a welfare check. Those officers are trained to find truant students. One of their duties is to report child abuse, neglect, and hazardous health conditions to authorities. And CCSD's website also says it requires them to be able to recognize and report hazards.
A case of child abuse in Henderson is spotlighting the work of CCSD truancy officers after they helped rescue a child.
Jeffrey and Misty Scanlon facing 1 count of child abuse, accused of locking their 11-year-old boy in a cage. 8
News Now education reporter Joshua Pagero caught up with a truancy officer who talked about the important role they play.
Tony Stark is an attendance officer based at Las Vegas High School. Part of his job includes going to homes of children who are chronically absent.
I get involved after letters have been sent out, calls have been sent out.
On Thursday, he visited at least 25 different houses where kids were chronically absent. That means a student missed more than 10% of their school days.
I try to park so they can see my vehicle, so they know I'm not just a random person trying to break in their house. So
that's one of the truancy officers, but let me go ahead and skip to the next news video. I'm going to try to skip this up just a hair.
Parts of this story disturbing.
It's like a horror movie I've seen a couple times.
People living in this Henderson neighborhood reacting hours after a startling discovery.
It's super surprising. You would not expect it at all.
Jeffrey and Misty Scanlon arrested near Wigwam and Green Valley Parkway after police say their 11-year-old autistic child was found locked in a makeshift jail cell. Documents show officers with Henderson and CCSD police did a welfare check because the boy had been absent from school. Reports state that, quote, screaming and the sound of a gate rattling was heard. And officers saw the 11-year-old inside the metal enclosure, which had reportedly been there for 6 years, with feces on the walls, wearing only a diaper. Police say 3 other kids were also in the home. And the Scanlon's daughter, who was diagnosed with autism as well, would be locked in her room at night with her shirt duct taped to a diaper.
Just can't imagine how or why anyone would do that to a child.
The 11-year-old boy was taken to a local hospital. and Child Protective Services took the others into their care.
Like, who would think to do that? Like, you don't think about being a proper parent. I would never think or imagine to duct tape a diaper to a t-shirt so they can't dig their waste out of their diaper. What?
Hope that there's justice for that baby.
And as the investigation continues, those nearby say they're still trying to understand how something this horrific happened in their community.
We've never had incidents here, ever.
Both Jeffrey and Misty Scanlon were booked into the Henderson Detention Center on child abuse and neglect charges. Records show they have since posted bail. They are due in court on May 14th. Reporting live in Henderson tonight, Sasha Loftus, 8 News Now.
Now, anyone with any other information on this case is asked to call Henderson Police or to stay anonymous. You can also contact Crime Stoppers.
According to this police report right here, Clark County School District Police visited this home right here on Tuesday to check in on one of the children who hadn't been to school for over a week. Now, they say after officers knocked on the door for about 40 minutes, one of the suspects finally opened it, revealing what officials call deplorable living conditions. From the outside, this house may look like any other in this seemingly quiet Henderson neighborhood. But this police report obtained by Channel 13 paints a clearer picture of what was going inside the home.
Pues está medio tenebroso tener gente.
It's kind of dark to have people with that mentality here as neighbors. 46-year-old Missy Scanlon and 41-year-old Jeffrey Scanlon live in the home on Silverton Drive with their 4 children. According to the arrest report, CCSD police visited the home Tuesday to check on one of the couple's children, who police say had not been to school for roughly a week. At the door, officers say they could hear a child screaming and a gate rattling inside. Both Henderson police and CCSD officers knocked on the door for over half an hour until the children's father finally opened it. In the report, officers say they saw the suspect's 11-year-old autistic son, who was wearing a diaper, locked inside a makeshift jail cell that was covered in feces in the living room. The Scanlons' 3 other children were also home. A neighbor I spoke with was shocked to learn what was happening in his community.
Ni tengo espacio en mi cabeza.
I don't have space in my head to think about how you can do that. In an interview with police, the suspect said the metal enclosure had been inside of the home for roughly 6 years. The Scanlons say they would lock their 11-year-old son inside when his, quote, behavior got out of control. The report says Misty and her 2 older children were cleaned the enclosure, but stopped cleaning it about 3 weeks ago because they were getting extremely busy. According to police, the couple's daughter also had autism and locked her in her room. The couple were arrested and booked into the Henderson Detention Center on 1 count of child abuse and neglect, but have since posted bail. Channel 13 went to the home on Thursday. One of the suspect's parents was there, but refused to speak with us. The 11-year-old was taken to the hospital to be checked by a doctor. The 3 other siblings were placed in the care of another family member. Now, the couple will be back in court on May 14th. For now, reporting from Henderson, I'm Giovanni Carrillo.
You know, I'm surprised that with him talking about that they had those cages or whatever it is for 6 years and for their house to smell that bad, I don't know how they were able to get away with this for so long. But if you ask me, these people, because of how they think that this is how humans are supposed to be treated, should never have access to children ever again. Not these children, not any other children, not in this lifetime. I don't know that they deserve a life sentence, but they definitely don't deserve to be around children ever again. Whatever time you can give them in prison, they absolutely deserve it. But you got to get them out of our society. These people are just absolutely horrendous, horrible, disgusting, nasty, filthy, stinking, and are just not regular-minded people at all. Absolutely disgusting and filthy. All right? Y'all keep those children in your prayers and pray that they can grow up and just become better than what they've been given, okay? Thank you guys so much for listening to the story. Leave a comment in the comment section, and please let me know what you think. Thank you.